Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're at the fantastically technical Rudskogen Motor Centre in the Ferrari 296, the Ferrari Challenge Edition, using the fixed setup. Brake bias is shown on the dashboard. And if you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap of breakdown, then we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and let's start the hot lap. Right, let's start the hot lap. So in fourth, looking for the 100 metre on the right hand side, and brake briefly, nearly up to 9%, drop, quick trail off, get back over to the left hand side, leave it in second gear, feeding the power back on, very slippy car. We come up to the tricky 3 and 4 coming up now. We need a really nice wide entry, and just try not to do anything with your right foot. So we turn in, we're just gently on the brakes, dropping it all the way down to second gear, back over to the right hand side. I'm going to do a big lift, tiny dab on the brakes, big lift, tiny dab on the brakes again. Gently back on. It feels like you're waiting an absolute age there. Back over to the left hand side, hard on the brakes, and quick trail off down to first gear. Gently back on the gas, again trying to avoid wheel spin. Over to the right hand side, very tricky corner on the brakes. Gently back on the gas once more. Tiny dab on the brakes here in a lift. Back on the gas, and then again we're just waiting an absolute age, come away from the curb, and then we start moving back towards it. Reaching full power, exit nice and wide. Over and across the line in a 1:19.899. That's where I accidentally cut the recording. I went one lap too early, so I nearly actually lost the entirety of the recording. But yeah, a 1:19.899. We will do the breakdown lap now. Right, breakdown. So first braking marker. 100 meters board on the right hand side. So as we get there briefly, nearly up to 90%, we're going to quickly trail that off. We drop it down to third, drop it down to second, steeply trail off on the brakes down to the apex. Once we hit the apex here, we get back on the gas, little blip. Now what we have to do is keep our left hand tires on the actual track here. So we move back over, little dab on the brakes again, just trailing that off just around 10%, and then we start building back up on the accelerator. And it's a long old one until we can actually feel confident to hit 100%. A little bit of a correction, just feeling for the grip. Next for turn 3 and 4. So it's roughly going to be at the 100 meters that we're going to turn in. So we want a nice wide entry, but what we need to make sure is that our left-hand tires are actually on the rumble strip. If we get them across the rumble strip on the left-hand side, because of the 3D nature of them, sometimes your wheels can sort of just grip up and get stuck on the outside of the curb. Now, it's a bit of a pain when that happens, but yeah, so we run through the 100, and then we gently on the brakes, only up to about 25%. We're just going to hold it roughly at that point. So all we're doing is steering and holding about 20% pressure on our left foot. So a lot of people here are on the gas, on the brakes, and really trying to balance it. But if you're just gently on the brakes, just allowing the steering to do its thing, keep trailing it off, and then once we get back to the apex of turn 4, that's when we can start getting back on the gas. We can't go up to 100% initially until we straighten that wheel. Then we can go up to 100, get back over to the right-hand side. And then once we're at the rumble strip on the right-hand side, that's when we're going to start our turn in. Then we're going to do a big lift. We just dab on the brakes. We're going to keep our right-hand tires just on the track here. And then we get a quick blast of gas again. And then we're going to come off the gas again, gently on the brakes, and then back on the gas. Once we cross this line in front of us, that's when we get off the gas, and then we get on the brakes once more, only up to about 45%. We're cutting that corner. We want a nice wide exit there because it's now going to be the entry into turn 8. And we're just feeling for the grip, as you can see. And then once we straighten up the wheel, we can go up to 100% again. So, as I said, very technical track. But if you do get it right, you'll drive away from everyone. Our next braking marker is going to be roughly the 50-meter board on the right-hand side. So it's as the car grips up, once it hits the bottom of this, we can brake quite hard, you see, up to about 90%. Nice wide entry, we're still trailing off, drop it down to first gear, and then we start getting back on the gas at the apex. As we open the wheel, we can get up to 100%. And again, you're just trying to avoid that wheel spin here with the traction control that we have. Back over to the right-hand side. Once we go under this little bridgey awning or whatever it is here, that's where we're just going to dab on the brakes up to about 45%, and then we're going to trail it off. Don't do anything with the gas just yet, so it's very slippy corner. Once we hit the apex, that's when we can go up to about 2/3 pressure, and again, once we straighten the wheel, that's when we can go up to 100%. Once we get to the end of the rumble strip, we're nearly there. Get to the end of the rumble strip, we turn in, little dab on the brakes, only up to sort of 10%. And then once we get to the apex, that's when we can start building up on the gas again. And then as we sort of straighten the wheel out to go into the final corner, we're just gently on the brakes, which is about 35-40%. It's a long trail off. We want to come away from the curbing here, still trailing off the brakes. And then we're turned in and we can get straight back on the gas, but we can't go up to 100% until we're more or less seeing the exit of the curb, of the corner, sorry. And that's when we can go up to 100%. It's going to send us out wide, but as long as our right-hand tyres are on the rumble strip, we're fine. You don't want to hit the grass. And then we go over and across the line in a 1:19.899. Right, we've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking. Enjoy.